Hello everyone, I'm Bruffy1322 and this video is going to show the fastest fully upgraded coupes in terms of top speed. We're quickly going to go over the slowest vehicles right now, and as always the position counter is in the top left with the actual top speed the car achieved in the top right. This video only focuses on straight line performance, so if you're interested in racing where braking, cornering and acceleration are all relevant, check the link in the description for the lap time testing series, and if you want to know more information about this testing, including the extent to which it's accurate and how useful it is for you personally, have a read of the full description as everything that you need is in there. So the Coupes class, obviously we saw the lap time testing video yesterday. It's one of the most unloved classes in the game in terms of DLC vehicles from Rockstar. There's only been two, and we've got a lot of double vehicles as well, like the Felon and the Felon GT, the Sentinel and the Sentinel XS. So there's some vehicles that are copied, and as we see in the top speed testing, there's not an awful lot to say about them individually. They're kind of mixed together, and there's not an awful lot of difference between the last placed vehicle. Obviously we saw the Felon GT in 14th place, and the top vehicle. They're actually very closely, tightly packed in comparison to pretty much all the other classes in the game, and this is probably the one class where top speed means the least in your choice of what car to have, because like I said, they're just so close in terms of the top speeds that they get. So we've seen the Jackal there in 11th place and the Felon in 10th. Those are the two vehicles that aren't very impressive in terms of top speed. Obviously 113 miles per hour isn't that great in comparison to the top few. It's not far off, but as we'll see. But yeah, these are two vehicles that are in sort of the top 5 of the Coupes class around the track, and unfortunately when it comes to them in terms of top speed, they do lack in that respect. So that is something to keep in mind if you do use a Felon or a Jackal. Its top speed isn't going to match its ability to get around the corners quickly, so that's something to keep in mind there. We've got the Oracle XS in 9th place here, and then just ahead of it, obviously no prizes for guessing that that's going to be the Oracle, but the regular Oracle is at least 1 mile per hour quicker than it, so there is some difference there. But again, very very close in terms of top speeds. We've had the Felon GT at the very start with 110 miles per hour, and we're already up to 8th place here, and we're only 5 miles per hour ahead of that. So when you compare it to the muscle cars class or the sports class or even the supers class, there's such a small amount of difference between first to last, and this is the point where we really start to see an even smaller difference, because in 7th place here we've got the Zion Cabrio, and then no surprises for guessing that the Zion will be in 6th place, because as I keep saying, the Zion and the Zion Cabrio are exactly the same. They both have the same top speed of 117.0 miles per hour, and that's the start of a lot of times in this list where you're going to be seeing the 117 miles per hour, because the top 7 vehicles are all separated by 1 mile per hour. So the top vehicle, it's only got a top speed of 118 miles per hour, and this is what makes the Zion in particular so powerful in terms of racing, because it's only 1 mile per hour off the absolute best in terms of top speed, and it is so potent around the track in terms of the traction that it's got, that it's pretty much the only coupe that you ever need. You just get a Zion and then that's it. You're pretty much good for all situations, and it should be kept in mind that these tiny differences in top speed, as we're seeing here, the Sentinel XS of 0.3 of a mile per hour quicker than the Zion in 5th place, they're so small, and there's so much room for variation in terms of the types of races that you're doing, and bumps on the road, and coupes are quite affected by that as well, more so than others. They're so small that natural variation of racing and vehicles and things like that are going to play a part. So there may be instances where the Zion will be slightly quicker than an Exemplar, or for example, or vice versa. The gap may be a little bit bigger, but because of that, you shouldn't really put too much weight on these actual top speeds when they are so close together. Obviously we saw the Exemplar there with 117.3 that was exactly the same as the Sentinel XS. It would be a bit nicer if the Exemplar had a higher top speed to make up for the lack of spoiler that it doesn't get. And in 3rd place we've got the F620 with a 117.5 mile per hour top speed, which is only 0.2 of a mile per hour quicker than the Exemplar, but it is still a relatively decent top speed, and for a vehicle that is so horrible to drive in terms of cornering, at least it does have a saving grace in that respect. But again, like I keep saying, because the Zion is only 0.5 of a mile per hour slower, and there is such high variation with this class, there's no point in getting anything else. The top two though are the Windsor and the Windsor Drop, so they've gone from being the two worst vehicles, the two vehicles that were at the bottom of the class in the lap time testing video, to the very top of the class with 118 miles per hour. Like I say though, that is only 1 mile per hour quicker than a Zion, so really it's not an awful lot of difference. There's pretty much no point in buying a Windsor just for some top speed stuff in a Coupes race, because it's not all that much quicker and it's going to suffer so much if it comes to even one corner that you might as well be better off just having a Zion in the first place. So the Coupes class, it is interesting how it is so close. It is one of the closest classes in terms of the lap times as well, but even more so when it comes to top speed. And as we'll see from the comparison from first to last, the differences when we ultimately reach the finish line aren't all that much. So you know, it's just putting it into perspective how the top speed of Coupes really shouldn't be impacting on your decision of what to buy, because ultimately it makes very, very little difference, and you would be better served by buying a vehicle that is going to be better in terms of cornering, and obviously that always points towards the Zion, and you're not going to be losing out too much in terms of top speed because of that. So that is why the Zion is so powerful in the Coupes class, and that is ultimately all the top speeds of all the Coupes. Very close together, not a lot to really say about each individual one, but that is it. So guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, remember to obviously read the description for more info, comment with your thoughts, like the video if you enjoyed or found it helpful, and subscribe for more as we're going through all the classes. Thank you so much for watching, I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.